On January 4, 1959, first flyby. The Soviet Union's Luna 1 makes the first successful flyby of the Moon at a distance of about 3,700 miles, 6,000 kilometers. 7 previous missions, launched by the US and Soviets, failed at launch. Luna 1 is considered a partial success since it was supported to impact the Moon. On March 4, 1959, near miss. The United States Pioneer 4 spacecraft aims to fly by and photograph the Moon. Pioneer 4 becomes the first American craft to leave Earth orbit, and scientists collect useful data on radiation in space. The second stage rocket fails to cut off on time, and the spacecraft passes by the Moon too far away from the imaging scanner to function. On September 13, 1959, impact. The Soviet Luna 2 spacecraft becomes the first human-made object to touch the surface of another world as it impacts the Moon. On October 7, 1959, dark side. The Soviet spacecraft Luna 3 is the first to reveal the Moon's never-before-seen far side. On July 31, 1964, success at last. Ranger 7 is the first unequivocal success in U.S. efforts to explore the Moon, after 13 consecutive failed missions. Just 15 minutes prior to intentionally impacting the Moon's surface, Ranger 7's suite of TV cameras begins sending back spectacular photos of the approaching surface. On March 24, 1965, live from the Moon. Ranger 9 broadcasts live television images as it plunges towards the Moon's surface in Alphonsus crater. On July 20, 1965, Zond 3. The Soviet Union's Zond series includes several interplanetary missions. Originally intended for Mars, Zond 3 maps more of the Moon's far side. On June 2, 1966, soft landing. The robotic Surveyor 1 makes the successful soft landing on the Moon for the U.S. In addition to transmitting over 11,000 pictures, it sends information on the bearing strength of the lunar soil, the radar reflectivity and temperature. August 24, 1966, Eye in the Sky. NASA's robotic Lunar Orbiter 1 spacecraft, the first 5 such missions, begins mapping the Moon from space. On January 10, 1968, a final survey. Surveyor 7 undertakes the final robotic reconnaissance of the Moon's surface prior to Apollo landings. On December 29, 1968, Earthrise. Apollo 8 is the first mission to take humans to the Moon. After swinging around the far side, the astronauts are greeted with a sight never seen before by human eyes, the home world appearing to rise over the lunar horizon. On July 20, 1969, the Eagle has landed. Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin become the first person to walk on the surface of the Moon after their lunar excursion module Eagle touches down on Mare Tranquility. On November 19, 1969, Man and Machine. Apollo 12 astronauts Charles Conrad Jr. and Alan L.B. land on the Moon's ocean of storms on November 19, 1969, only about 600 feet, 180 meters, from the Surveyor 3 robotic spacecraft which had arrived in April 1967. The television camera and several other components are taken from Surveyor 3 and brought back to Earth for scientific analysis. On April 13, 1970, Houston, we've had a problem here. The Apollo 13 crew is supposed to land in the Moon's Francis Morrow area. Instead, an explosion on board the command module forces the mission to circle the Moon without landing. The mission is considered a successful failure because of the experience gained in rescuing the crew. On November 17, 1970, robotic rover out for a drive. Luna 17 carries Lunokhod 1. The first in a series of Soviet robot lunar rovers. Lunokhod 1 has an expected lifetime of 3 lunar days but operates for 11. During its 322 Earth days of operation, the rover travels about 6 miles, about 10 kilometers, and returns more than 20,000 TV images in 206 high-resolution panoramas. In addition, Lunokhod 1 performs 25 soil analyses. On December 11, 1972, last men on the Moon. Eugene Cernan and Harrison H. Schmitt are the last people to walk on the Moon, so far. The objectives of the Apollo 17 mission include surveying and sampling surface features in the Taurus Littoral region, and testing new equipment such as the lunar rover. On August 18, 1976, Luna 24. The Soviet Union's final lunar mission successfully retrieves a soil sample and returns it to the Earth. On February 19, 1994, return of the robotics, Clementine. Clementine is the first U.S. spacecraft launched to the Moon in over 20 years. It is designed to demonstrate a set of lightweight technologies, such as small imaging sensors. Clementine carries 15 advanced flight test components and 10 science instruments to document locations that include the Moon's enormous South Pole Aitken impact basin. On January 15, 1998, Lunar Prospector. Lunar Prospector performs a low-polar orbit investigation of the Moon, including mapping the surface composition and locating lunar resources, measuring magnetic and gravity fields and studying outgassing events. The data from this mission, which carries only scientific instruments, complements the image data from the Clementine mission, which carried mostly cameras. On October 3, 2007, high-def from the Moon. Japan's Kaguya mission enters orbit, sending back the first HD TV video at the lunar surface. After a successful 2-year mission, it carries out a planned impact on the surface. The impact plume is observed by the Earth-based telescope. On June 22, 2009, Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. NASA's robotic spacecraft, Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, arrives at the Moon and begins extreme high-resolution mapping as well as occasionally taking stunning photos of the Earth. It also photographs all previous and subsequent landing and impact sites. On December 31, 2011, Ebb and Flow. The twin spacecraft of NASA's Gravity Recovery and Interior Laboratory, GRAIL, mission arrived in lunar orbit. By precisely measuring the distance between the two spacecraft, Ebb and Flow, GRAIL maps variations in the Moon's gravitational field, revealing details about its internal structure. On October 6, 2013, LADEE. The Lunar Atmosphere and Dust Environment, LADEE, enters lunar orbit. This mission orbits for 7 months, studying the extremely thin lunar atmosphere and dust near the Moon, as well as testing new technology such as laser-based communication. On December 14, 2013, a Jade Rabbit runs on the Moon. China's Change 3 lander, carrying the Yutu rover, named for a mythological jade rabbit, sets down on Mare Imbrium, becoming the first mission to soft land on the Moon since Luna 24. The rover makes brief excursions while instruments on the lander take scientific observations. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. And please don't forget to tap on bell icon like this. You will be notified whenever we will upload our new video.